Welcome back to another edition of Holding Court with Coach Jeff Nelson. J.D. Healy joining you today, and the coach, you're just fresh off the plane back from the left coast.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about, first of all, just about the trip. We'll get into the games. Going out to California was fun.
Yeah, it was a long trip. We left Wednesday morning because we played a little different schedule this week. We played one game each day, so we played Thursday, Friday, Saturday, one game each day, and a little nicer as far as preparation and having time to get ready for matches, but made it a little bit longer trip as well, and so we were more than happy to get back after the weekend.
Nice. First up, you started off Thursday against Pepperdine, a perennial powerhouse, and this one you started off well. You win that the first set, but wind up falling 3-1 to Pepperdine.
Yeah, we didn't start off well either. We just we fortunately pulled out the first game, but it wasn't great volleyball. It was for our team definitely the most disappointing match of the season. We felt like we played down. We didn't take care of the ball, and I don't think that's Pepperdine. They're a good team that's getting a lot better with the new coach and everything. But I think we struggled with being in the Galen Center a little bit. It's a lot bigger than what we're used to. Didn't pass the ball as well as we usually do. Actually struggled with that for about 4 or 5 games. Our passing finally probably picked up the third game against USC, but overall we really struggled with that, and it was just a match that, our other losses were really close, really exciting, great matches that we were in, and this one we just really took ourselves out of, and give Pepperdine credit for that. They kept battling and coming at us, but we didn't make adjustments. We talked about it, but we didn't take them to the floor, and then we struggled with our passing, and really our serving is what kept the scores close, because we did serve well all weekend.
As a team, you hit 300 and yielded 361 success rate. I got that from Mike, right directly from his notes. Some of the shining stars here. Devin Sowers had a nice match. She had 14 kills. Hannah Johnson, I feel like I should just record this. She's so good and so steady that she's always going to get great numbers. Had 33 assists. Simone Henderson had 11 kills. Julia Warren had 7 kills and 12 digs. She is that
all around.
She's here and she's there. She does it all. Mercedes Pacheco, who is really doing a nice job for you, the freshman coming in, collected 14 digs, led the team in digs.
Yeah. I think we did dig balls well in that match, but on the flip side, like I said, we struggled with our backcourt passing and just finding a rhythm. I think if we could have found a rhythm, we might have been able to pull that match out, but we never did. But there were some very good individual performances throughout it, and unfortunately a little bit up and down throughout the match too.
Got to take the rest of the night off and come back the next day and play against USC, undefeated USC,
yeah,
on their home turf. That had to be a heck of a game psychologically to try and get the team ready for. The match doesn't end up obviously the way that you wanted to, but it looked like, from reading through some of the notes, I did not get a chance to see the game. I don't have that on my Comcast.
Oh.
But just reading through some of the notes, it looked like the girls were in this throughout the match.
Yeah, I think so. We came out in game 1 and started playing better. We went to 23 all, made a couple late mistakes, but really battled well and got on track. And then our passing broke down in game 2, got away from us. Then in game 3, we came right back and got back on and battled again. Jumped out to a 10-3 lead in game 3, and they had a player we just couldn't stop, Sam Bricio, who's a 3-time All-American. We just couldn't stop her. And the one thing we did, we served her tough, and they took her out of the back row some. And when she went out, we ran points. I mean, she is everything in terms of what their team is doing and how they run their offense. She's their leader, and when we could get her out of the game, we scored and ran points. But when she came back in, they ran them right back at us. And that was the one person we just couldn't contain at all. And she's a great player, and certainly no shame that we couldn't, because I think she's one of the best players in the country. But I actually said to the team at one point, between the setter and Sam, the outside hitter, I said, you're losing to a doubles team, because they were that effective for a while, and it was a little bit frustrating. But their whole team's good. They play really fast offense. It's dynamic. They've changed their whole system from the past, and it's tough to play against, especially if you don't get them rattled with their passing. If they're getting the ball to the net, they're gonna win every match. And so, but it was a good experience, and I think it made us better. And I think we came out of this weekend a lot tougher.
I was going to ask you, what's the takeaway from that? And certainly, if you have a powerhouse player like that, and you've got a couple of teams in the Mountain West Conference that you're going to have to play against you that are in the top 25, you're going to see a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, is this great experience coming out of it?
Yeah, absolutely. They're, they're as good a team. We won't see a team as good as them in our conference, even though our conference is, I think, significantly improved from the past couple of years. I think what we saw there is the fastest offense we'll see, and also the biggest. They were big and physical, and then running that fast system on top of it made it extremely difficult.
Let's talk about some of the individual performances. Devin Sowers again comes out, has a nice performance, 12 kills, 23 assists, so she comes out with a double-double. Hannah Johnson, 10 digs and 3 kills. Julia Warren had 5 kills. Simone Henderson and Sky Glatt just 4 kills, and Cassie with 3. Defensively, both Julia Warren and Mercedes Pacheco had 12 digs apiece, and as I say, Hannah Johnson had 10. So defensively, some of those people stepping up. Again, I keep mentioning the name Mercedes Pacheco. She's doing a nice job.
She is. She had some ups and downs this last weekend, and I think also struggled with the size a little bit. But she for a freshman is really stepping up and doing good things. She's a great addition to our program, and I think the biggest thing with her is, since she's starting, I told her last weekend, when you're a freshman and you come in and you start, you don't get to be a freshman, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. That people have higher expectations, and for the most part she's met them and done a great job. But I think there's, as with any young player, there's probably times when they wish they could just be a freshman maybe, but she wants that role, and so far she's won that role, and so she's been forced to really step up, both in terms of play and maturity.
Coach, at that point last year, we were 7-1, and at the end of this game, 4-4. I'll talk about 5-4 overall, but obviously you'd rather be 7-1. You'd rather be 8-0, but mm-hmm. you intentionally picked really, really difficult matches for this team to face off again to start off their season.
Well, we wanted to put ourselves in a situation where we had a number of teams that were in the tournament last year on our preseason schedule, where we had a number of top 50 matches on our schedule, and we did that, and we knew we had to win a couple. We got the win over Santa Clara, and they're doing really well. We got the win over Idaho State, which we're going to talk about, but they're a top 50 program right now, and then like I said, teams that were in the tournament just this coming weekend. We have Long Island, who was in the tournament, and LSU, who was in the tournament, and Northridge, who was, I don't think was in last year, but was in like 3 years in a row before that. So we really chose programs that we thought we would be battling with at the end of the year for an opportunity to have a shot at being in postseason.
Idaho State, what a match that one had to be. It goes down to 5, but here's how it reads: 16-25, 18-25, 25-18, 25-18. Those are like exactly opposite kind of things. Yeah, and then 17-15 in the fifth. What a battle!
It was, and it was exciting. We came out flat. We were disappointed about how the first 2 matches had gone, and ball handling wasn't good in the first 2 games. Struggled with making some adjustments on blocking. So in game 3, a few things happened. but we inserted Marisa Carrasco for Sky Gulat, and she went in 3 games as a freshman, had 9 blocks, which is tremendous. Great statistic, and really helped us, particularly in Game 3, turn it around. And then we actually, Mercedes Pacheco was struggling a little bit, and we inserted Ashley Kelsey into the libero spot, and she came up really big for us, really stable passing, and just took care of some of the things that we weren't doing. And you know, between the two of them, we also then put Cassie House back in because she had been struggling, and then she really picked it up and ended up, I think, hitting like 400 for the match, and really picked it up. So we had some major adjustments, I would say, but they really came through, and that speaks to the depth of the kids in the program, and we've talked about that before. I think all of our kids are ready to play. In that match, 12 kids got to play. Allison Askew went in, you know, Ashley Kelsey usually goes in and serves for a middle, and because she went to libero, then Allison went to serving for the middles and came up with a couple big aces and some really good points, and served a whole bunch of points for us. So all 4 of those adjustments worked out really well for us, and we were able to flip the match. And then we did lead most of Game 5 as well. Game 5 was never more than a 2-point separation, though, so it was really exciting, and just came down to big plays and big errors, and we were up 16-15, and they made a hitting error, and it just can boil down to one play after we've played for almost 3 hours, you know.
Everything weighs on it, that's for sure. Talk about people stepping up. Julia Warren had 16 kills, that's career highs, 16 kills, and was really sort of a catalyst, you know, from what I was reading about the match, a real catalyst to sort of spark the team in the right direction.
Yeah, Julia had a great match, and she had struggled in the first 2 matches a little bit, and so she really stepped up and got back on track, had a great match. Both passing and offensively, served a little better. You know, our serving has really worked well for us the whole season, and it continues to do so. And Devin Sowers also came up big serving with a bunch of aces on her jump serve. But Julia needed a match like that, and she really put together a good one at the right time. And you know, it's the second time, maybe third time, we've had a big comeback, and this time it worked out. It's worked out twice, once it didn't, but I'm glad we're battling, and like I said, I do think we're a lot tougher coming out of the weekend, having played really good teams, and then knowing that we can turn it around, be successful, and get after it. You know, I would have been really disappointed if we came out 0-3. I had said going in 2-1 would be exceptional. 1-2 is okay because we still got to win over a top 50 team, and all the teams we played were top level teams. But you know, we need a little bit more. We've got to have a big weekend again this weekend, and then we've got still a big match as far as non-conference goes down at New Mexico State, because they're having a good year already as well, and that's a good program. And so we have a few opportunities in front of us yet to still get some really quality wins, and we're talking about needing to go on a run now. You know, we do. We need to go on a run. We need to, you know, we're 5-4. We need to start conference next weekend at 8-4. Our goal this weekend is to win 3 matches, and then we can start, and we get to start conference at home as well next week, which is really great. It's great to be home for 2 weeks, and we feel like having the opportunity to be at home and then starting conference, it's an opportunity for us to run some matches and really get ourselves into a good place.
Well, there's no doubt about it. We have our work cut out for us here, Coach, because I was going back and looking at these teams. Their records right now show that you have teams that, if you just look at their records, you say, well, I don't know how well they're doing, but then you look at who they played.
Right.
You know, CSUN has losses to number 8 Washington, number 12 Arizona, I think it's number 12 currently, and number 23 Utah. And then LIU Brooklyn has losses to number 11 Oregon, number 12 Arizona, and number 15 Ohio State. And LSU has losses to number 3 Texas and number 20 Purdue.
Right.
So it's not like they've been out there, battling against nobodies and not winning. These teams are really, really good teams that also have their back against the wall. They're playing, I'm sure, getting ready to go into conferences to try and see how much they can get this weekend too. So it's going to be quite a fight. Yeah,
we talked about that yesterday, our coaching staff, because we said, it's 3 programs coming in that are used to having a lot of success, that played brutal preseason schedules and didn't work out quite as well as planned, but they're going to be coming after us, and they're going to be looking to come here and win a tournament and start their conference seasons. Most conferences start next week and get themselves going well, but I think the opportunity to play at home, I think some of the things we have planned for this weekend, with the tournament being in the pit and stuff, and I actually think having played at the Galen Center last week will help us with this week, because Galen Center is a huge arena, and now we're going into the pit, another huge arena, and there's no question when you are in that environment, when you're used to playing in a tighter gym, that it's more difficult to pick up the ball, the spatial things, and I think having had that opportunity to play at USC last weekend is going to help us this weekend.
No doubt about it. It's the Days Inn and Suites Lobo Invitational, and it is at Wise Pies Arena. We want you to come out and enjoy the games. Friday night, things kick off, and then the 2 matches for Lobos on Saturday. But you really want people to come out and enjoy the games, and even the games where it's the opponents playing against each other.
Sure. No, Saturday's a full slate. There's 4 matches starting at 10:30 in the morning. For us, Friday night we play Northridge, which will be a great match. Jeff Stork, their head coach, used to be an assistant coach here years ago, and so he'll be back. And then on Saturday night we have our white out, which is we're asking everyone to wear white, and they're also going to give away T-shirts to the first 600 people through the door. And then it's also school night, so we're hoping to get a bunch of school teams in and things like that. But looking for a good turnout for that LSU match on Saturday night. And all the teams from the SEC are good, and that's we're gonna have to really prepare. And we've got 2 good teams to take care of first, but for that one, they're from such a tough conference, as is Northridge. The Big West is a great conference too, so those teams know how to battle and play every night.
School night, the T-shirts, all that stuff, I presume, will come out on the Twitter feed. We want people to take that and retweet that as much as possible.
Absolutely. There's a great graphic that Mike's done that for the whiteout, and it's up on Facebook, it's up on Twitter, and everything. And if people can share it and stuff, we'd obviously really appreciate it, because it's a good graphic, and it's we just want to get the word out. So
it's going to be a great weekend for Lobo volleyball. I can feel it in my bones, no doubt about it. This is going to be a good one. Folks, you don't want to miss it. Come on out and join us out at Wise Pies Arena. If you can't make it, obviously you can still watch it online. We want you to be here, though. Go to golobos.com for the full schedule of all the games that are going to be coming up. And Coach, I want to wish you the best of luck. Really looking forward to a great weekend. And folks, join us out here and next time on Holding Court with Coach Jeff Nelson.